Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Wednesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is June 20th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
According to the Durango Herald, with a photo by Jerry McBride with the Herald, the last of the evacuation orders issued because of the 416 fire were lifted Tuesday. Residents in the Falls Creek Ranch and High Meadows subdivisions can return home starting at 11 a.m. according to La Plata County's government. The order had affected more than 100 homes. To re-enter, residents must present rapid tag credentials, which are available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the La Plata County Fairgrounds to 2500 Main Avenue. County Road 205 will be open to residents only from the checkpoint north, the announcement said. Fire mitigation is ongoing and residents are asked to use caution in the area. Falls Creek Ranch and High Meadows remain under pre-evacuation. Other areas under pre-evacuation are residences and businesses on the west side of County Road 203 from Trimble Lane south to the U.S. Highway 550 intersection, the 1000 block of County Road 204 to the Colorado Trail access, and County Road 205 north from the intersection of County Road 204 to the Falls Creek Ranch subdivision entrance.
From the Journal, photo credit Andy Lyon. Many of the support personnel in the fight against the Burrow fire prepared to leave on Tuesday after a calm Monday with very little fire growth. Containment of the fire jumped to 53%. Infrared flight mapping about 10 p.m. Monday showed the wildfire remained at 3,715 acres and had spread about a third of an acre on its eastern perimeter. On Tuesday, crews continued to build fire lines and fuel breaks in Divisions J and N along the northwest and south sides of the fire to keep it from advancing towards private property. The small army of Type 1 interagency support personnel stationed at the incident command site in Dolores began packing up Tuesday morning, and Public Information Officer Andy Lyon said most of them would be gone by Thursday, leaving a smaller Type 3 team to monitor the fire. The Burrow fire is jumped to 53% containment on Tuesday, mainly attributed to the bulldozed lines built in the northwest sector of the Burrow area. About 1.2 inches of rain fell on the area on Saturday and Sunday, giving crews the chance to focus on containment. By Tuesday, though, Lyon said the roads around the fire had dried out enough for his vehicle to kick up dust while driving by. The incident management team estimates the fire will be fully contained by July 15th. The Haines Index, which measures instability in the atmosphere that could allow a fire to spread more quickly under the right conditions, rose to a 6 on Tuesday, according to incident meteorologist Royce Fontenot, meaning that there is a high potential for an existing fire to become larger. Lyon said the high index number serves as a reminder to firefighters that they need to pay close attention to dry trees that could ignite. Fontenot predicted that the strongest winds on Tuesday would come after 7 p.m., blowing to the northwest along the ridges of the Bear Creek area at up to 25 miles an hour. No rain was in the forecast until Friday, when Fontenot predicted a chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Fire crews on Monday focused their efforts on securing fire lines on the southwest perimeter to keep the fire from the Windy Gap area. Lyon said crews are close to accomplishing their goal of making sure the fire is out cold for at least 30 feet on both sides of the southwest perimeter line. If the fire should come back to life at some point, those lines will be better able to hold it, he said. Every day those lines become stronger. Division R on the northeast end of the fire remained unstaffed on Tuesday because it's not threatening roads or private property. No structures or property have been lost to the Burrow fire.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, Durango police are searching for 2 teenagers who allegedly stole an ATV owned by Durango Youth Baseball that was stored at the La Plata County Fairgrounds. Durango police said via Facebook that the ATV, a 2005 camouflage Suzuki, was stolen around 2:30 p.m. June 6th. Durango Youth Baseball uses the vehicle for grooming the baseball fields at the fairgrounds. The ATV was seen being driven west on Clovis Drive and then south on Delwood Avenue. Police say the vehicle was possibly taken by a male and female in their teens. Calls to Durango Police and Durango Youth Baseball were not immediately returned Monday morning.
From the Telluride Daily News, photo credits San Miguel Sheriff's Office. Authorities responded to a small wildfire off of State Highway 145 near mile marker 5 in the Browns Ranch Road area of Placerville. That happened around 3 p.m. Tuesday, according to Susan Lilly, Telluride Fire Protection District Public Information Officer. The San Miguel County Sheriff's Office, all of the fire district stations, and officials from the BLM, U.S. Forest Service, and Colorado Division of Fire Protection and Control responded to the fire, which was fully contained around 7 p.m., Lilly said. No structures were damaged by the fire and no injuries were reported. Some homes in the area were placed on pre-evacuation as a precaution, she added, but no homeowner needed to evacuate. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Sheriff Bill Masters commended the Telluride and Placerville fire departments for their prompt reply. They saved the day with their quick response and fast thinking at the scene, he said. The fire could have taken off and threatened a lot of homes. Due to these dry conditions, the Telluride Fire Protection District has canceled its 4th of July fireworks display, citing hazardous dry conditions as a result of the region's severe drought. In spite of last weekend's rain, TFPD Deputy Chief David Wadley said the moisture did little to bring moisture levels up enough to consider conditions safe enough to shoot fireworks from the launch site at Firecracker Hill in Telluride Town Park. We spoke with the U.S. Forest Service, the Division of Fire Prevention and Control, as well as the regional weather forecasters, and we did not see a significant enough change in the forecasted weather pattern by July 4th that would put us in a safe enough environment to move forward with the show, Wadley said. TFPD District Chief John Bennett said he wanted to get the word out to the public so that people who traveled to Telluride for the show have the opportunity to make alternate plans. The firefighters will still put on their annual 4th of July barbecue in Town Park following the parade.
According to the Durango Herald, with a photo courtesy of LPEA, a crow caused more than 6,500 homes and businesses in portions of eastern and southeastern La Plata County to go without power for about an hour Tuesday afternoon. LPEA spokeswoman Indiana Reed said power was restored around 2:45 p.m. The outage was originally reported around 1:45 p.m. Reed said power provider Tri-State Generation and Transmission's breaker locked open, cutting power to 6,537 customers in the Bayfield area and Ignacio area after a crow interacted with the transmission line. The system noted a disturbance on the line and circuits locked open, she said. Areas affected included the U.S. Highway 160 corridor east of Colorado Highway 172. This included the towns of Bayfield and Ignacio. The Durango-La Plata County Airport was within the outage area as well. The outage extended across the Archuleta County line. It also included areas south toward Navajo State Park. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map today shapes up to continued thunderstorms opportunities across the nation. An upper-level low over South Texas and tropical moisture over the western Gulf Coast will keep heavy rainfall in the forecast through Thursday morning. Flash flood watches are currently in effect for much of the Texas coast, as they always warn, turn around, don't drown. Elsewhere, there is excessive heat over the southwest, as record warm minimum temperatures are possible across the southeastern U.S. and Pacific Northwest. And we are still seeing flash flooding threats over the middle Mississippi Valley as well. For the Four Corners regional forecast, a ridge of high pressure to the west brought a dry northwest flow and clear skies to the region during the early morning hours. Models indicate that the ridge will shift eastward during the day and tonight. Moisture will continue to be pushed well north of the region, and as a result, skies will be clear to mostly clear through the next 24 hours. Afternoon highs will be similar to yesterday's, which were right around normal, and overnight lows will be also seasonable. A shortwave trough moving into the northern Rockies on Thursday will bring breezy west to southwest winds, especially across the north during the afternoon. Possible isolated showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon may be present over the eastern Uinta Mountains. This activity may extend into the Elkhead Park and Flat Top Mountains, though coverage is expected to be limited. Warmer air will cause temperatures to increase by close to 5 degrees for most locations. Longer term, that high pressure will continue to build in from the south, bringing generally dry and hot conditions to our region. The local DCTV 5-day outlook remains tediously similar day by day. Today sunny with a high near 83, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight clear with a low around 52. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming east after midnight. Thursday, the first day of summer, is lining up to be a hot one. Sunny with a high near 90, east-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming southwest 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Then Thursday night clear with a low only around 58. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles an hour becoming east after midnight. Then Friday sunny again with a high near 88, east winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, becoming west in the morning. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 54. Saturday, sunny again with a high near 86. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 57. And Sunday, rounding out the weekend, sunny with a high near 81. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 51. Monday, sunny with a high near 83. And Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 54. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, despite the continued extreme drought conditions in southwest Colorado, the U.S. Forest Service announced Thursday it will reopen the San Juan National Forest, which was closed last week because of high fire danger. It may seem like a quick turnaround since last Tuesday, June 12th, but both the decision to close and reopen the SJNF were based on scientific information and a defined set of 10 criteria, the U.S. Forest Service said in a news release. On June 12th, the Forest Service closed the entire 1.8 million acres of the San Juan National Forest for the first time ever because of the unprecedented fire danger, a result of one of the driest years in southwest Colorado in recorded history. The decision to close the forest was also driven by two active fires, the 416 and Burro fires, which were raging through parts of the San Juan National Forest north of Durango and northeast of Dolores, respectively. In an effort to remove the possibility of another fire outbreak and be able to dedicate all available firefighting resources to those two fires, the Forest Service, along with the City of Durango, La Plata County, and the Bureau of Land Management, closed public lands to recreation. Southwest Colorado received between 0.5 and 1.5 inches of rain over the weekend, which helped slow the 416 and Burro fires, but did not extinguish them.
Reported in the Journal, photo credit Jerry McBride. In its meeting Wednesday, the Mancos Town Board voted to apply for a grant that would allow the town to install a charging station for electric vehicles at Boyle Park. Town Administrator Heather Alvarez asked the board for permission to apply for a $9,000 Charge Ahead Colorado grant through the Durango-based nonprofit 4Core. The grant would cover part of the cost of installing one of three kinds of charging stations. The board voted unanimously, with Mayor Queenie Bars absent, to approve the application and chose the most expensive option, a solar-powered charging station that would cost the town an additional $20,445 if the grant is approved. Despite the installation's cost, several trustees said they felt it was important to bring more electric vehicles to Mancos. Trustee Ed Hallam said that he felt installing a solar-powered station would be the most environmentally friendly option and would save the town money in the long run because it would be self-sustaining. If installed, Mancos' charging station would be the only one of its kind between Durango and the Utah border. Hello, Dove Creek, something to think about. Blanding is the closest station to our west, with Durango the closest to the east. Hallam said it would likely bring more tourists to town, and Alvarez said similar installations have caused electric car rentals to increase in Durango. Alvarez recommended installing the station at Boyle Park because the nearby town hall has enough of the necessary equipment to allow an installation without a construction project. She couldn't give long-term cost estimates for the station's maintenance. The grant application deadline is June 21st, but Alvarez said she wasn't sure when she will find out whether the town has received it. The money to install the station will come out of the town's general fund reserves. Alvarez said she would bring the issue before the board again if she doesn't get the grant. It's a really progressive thing to do, Trustee Cindy Simpson said after voting for the application. It's how the world is headed, and why not get in on it? The decision came after the board approved the town's 2017 financial audit, which painted a rosy picture of Mancos' finances. The town is solvent and has plenty of money in reserves.
According to the Durango Herald, with a photo from the AP file, obsessive video gamers know how to anticipate dangers in virtual worlds. The Durango Health Organization says they now should be on guard for a danger in the real world, spending too much time playing. In its latest revision to a disease classification manual, the UN Health Agency said Monday that compulsively playing video games now qualifies as a mental health condition. The statement confirmed the fears of some parents, but led critics to warn that it may risk stigmatizing too many young video gamers. WHO said classifying gaming disorder as a separate addiction will help governments, families, and healthcare workers be more vigilant and prepared to identify the risks. The agency and other experts were quick to note that cases of the condition are still very rare, with no more than up to 3% of all gamers believed to be affected. Dr. Shekhar Saxena, director of WHO's Department for Mental Health and Substance Abuse, said the agency accepted the proposal that gaming disorder should be listed as a new problem based on scientific evidence, in addition to the need and the demand for treatment in many parts of the world. Dr. Joan Harvey, a spokeswoman for the British Psychological Society, warned that the new designation might cause unnecessary concern among parents. Others welcomed WHO's new classification, saying it was critical to identify people hooked on video games quickly because they are usually teenagers or young adults who don't seek help themselves. We come across parents who are distraught not only because they're seeing their child drop out of school, but because they're seeing an entire family structure fall apart, said Dr. Henrietta Bowden-Jones, a spokeswoman for behavioral addictions at Britain's Royal College of Psychiatrists. She was not connected to WHO's decision. Bowden-Jones said gaming addictions were usually best treated with psychological therapies, but that some medicines might also work. The American Psychiatric Association has not yet deemed gaming disorder to be a new mental health problem. In a 2013 statement, the association said it's a condition warranting more clinical research and experience before it might be considered for inclusion in its own diagnostic manual. The group noted that much of the scientific literature about compulsive gamers is based on evidence from young men in Asia.
Eric Niven reported in the San Juan Record in Monticello, Utah, on some shocking news. The Monticello City Council meeting was the place to be on June 12th. A crowded audience waited patiently for the council to get through the nuts and bolts of the city's operation before the main event, water, particularly secondary water. The result is new secondary water rates that may shock high water users after the rates are implemented beginning June 27th. Unless changes are made, the resident who used the largest amount of secondary water in May would see their monthly water bill increase from $141.50 to, brace yourself, $4,665. Public Works Director Nathan Langston began the meeting with an overview of Monticello's dire water situation resulting from the severe drought in which the city finds itself. He reported that though there has been no water collected from mountain runoff this year, statistically Lloyd's Lake has sufficient water for the year if residents stick to the base volume of 10,000 gallons of secondary water use per month. But Langston said if the drought continues, even that level may be restricted. Lloyd's Lake is at 40% of capacity after pumping 35 million gallons to city ponds. Current water intake is at 30% of average. Culinary use is at 80%, and current secondary use is 100% of average. Langston presented reports showing extravagant use of secondary water with a 2-page list of residents who are using from 40 to nearly 100,000 gallons of water per month. At this point, the meeting transformed into a free-for-all of questions and comments from the audience, beginning with the concern that more affluent citizens might be willing to pay higher rates because they are more concerned with keeping their yards green and healthy than about the penalty of higher costs. This was discussed because if the drought continues, the water penalty revenue will not replenish the limited resource. Another concern raised by the audience was how the city will address the water shortage now and in the future, water use at the golf course, the amount of water pumped into the system from ground wells, ensuring that only residents be permitted to purchase water from the fire station culinary outlet, the fate of those who continue to abuse the system by using more than 40,000 gallons per month, leaking systems, evaporation, and even the use of culinary water to supplement secondary water. The council emphasized that the city water department has been proactive in attempting to develop new water sources, managing existing resources, and monitoring usage. It was reported that the golf course has already reduced its water usage and will reduce it another 20%, and the cemetery and city parks are also reducing usage. To encourage water conservation and limit abuses of the secondary water system, the city council decided to define a water emergency and assess monetary payment and penalties accordingly, including a possible shutoff penalty. Beginning with a meter reading on June 27th that will be reflected on August statements, up to 10,999 gallons are still included in the base rate of $20 per month. Monticello City Manager Doug Wright expressed that with the new rates, the city is addressing water conservation more than attempting to recover costs due to lower usage. The council also decided to implement similar restrictions on culinary water usage during the next council meeting once council members have had a chance chance to review usage statistics. Lastly, the council questioned what the city would do even for culinary water should there be a mechanical failure at Lloyd's Lake. Langston said the city would have about 30 days of water. The city is beginning an extensive information campaign using social media, the newspaper, and door-to-door flyers to make residents aware of the new emergency water rates, their current secondary water usage, and even offer assistance in refining their water usage. For more information and updates, visit MonticelloUtah.org, the city Facebook page, or call them at 435-587-2271.
Reported by the Durango Herald, Great Outdoors Colorado has awarded a $20,000 grant to study birds at Oxbow Park and Preserve. 9 projects from across the state were awarded $140,000 in funding, said GOCO spokeswoman Laura Garden. GOCO, which funds improvements to outdoor spaces in Colorado, gets its funding from the Colorado Lottery. The grant was awarded through GOCO's Innovation Fund, which provides an opportunity for regional Colorado parks and wildlife staff to apply for grant funding. Projects selected for funding have had a positive impact on communities and have no other funding alternatives, Garden said. The Oxbow Bird Study, called the Monitoring Avian Productivity and Survivorship Program, was in danger of running out of funding, so the grant will ensure the study continues in future years, she said. To be statistically significant, the study had to run through 2018, said CPW Southwest Land Use Coordinator Brian McGee. This funding will allow it to do so. The study is in its 5th year, and the GOCO grant will allow the study to go on until at least 2020. As a result of the study, researchers will be able to better understand what species live near Oxbow and what they do there. The City of Durango adopted its Oxbow Park and Preserve Management Plan in 2016 and in the future plans to develop a parking area, boat ramp, and an extension of the Animas River Trail. Studying the species in the area will help determine the impact of this development, McGee said. As of January, more than 90 species have been identified at the preserve.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings, June 26th at 10 a.m. to 11:30 or June 28th, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Join the Four Corners Child Advocacy Center for an informative workshop. It's a 1.5-hour workshop for parents, guardians, and community members about addressing sexting and safe media usage with the teens in their lives. Sexting, the sharing of sexual explicit text or images over any media, including the internet, social media, and text, has been going on for years, but recently has captured the state and nation's attention with scandals. In this workshop, you'll discuss group perspectives on sexting, the perceived psychology of teens and why they sext, the new Colorado law regarding underage sexting, and ideas for how parents, guardians, and community can tackle this topic with the teens we love and support. Information is presented in courtesy of Kindling Communications and CCASA. Meet at 140 North Linden Street in Cortez at the center. And again, a wonderful notice reported on by Kelsey earlier. For all of you eager to get out to the river, the June 20th press release from the BLM and San Juan Forest Service has said Thursday, June 21st at 3 p.m. The San Juan National Forest will reopen to the public by rescinding the Stage 3 closure order in place since June 12th. Lands managed by the Bureau of Land Management and in the Durango area that closed last week will also reopen. An area around the active 416 and Burro fires will remain closed to public entry, including the segments of the Colorado Trail from Molas Pass to the Junction Creek terminus. The BLM lands and the rest of the SJNF will remain in Stage 2 fire restrictions. What this means is campgrounds, roads, and trails will reopen and operations to resume for those with permits and contracts for doing business on the public lands. Be sure to keep an eye out and updates for changes that may occur to access as we continue to deal with the extreme drought conditions. This press release, along with the other happenings and notices from various agencies, are all posted on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. We also post our on-demand YouTube channel replays, weather notices, and original stories, and share your local posts. To share your event with us, email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.